You've been told to be patient, that your dream life will come if you just wait long enough. But the quantum field does not reward waiting. It rewards coherence. Right now, infinite versions of you already exist. The version still waiting. The version that never moves. And the version who has already jumped. The question isn't whether your dream life is real. The question is, why are you still waiting for it when it's entangled with you now? Quantum reality does not operate on time. It operates on frequency, and frequency is not delayed. It is instant. The signal you broadcast in this very moment dictates what collapses into form. So ask yourself, what are you broadcasting? Is it hesitation? Is it doubt? Is it the story that someday will be better? Because if you keep feeding that frequency, the field will mirror it back over and over. More waiting, more distance, more delay. This is the trap. And it's why most people never experience the quantum jump. They confuse preparation with activation. They think tomorrow is safer than now. But in the quantum field, tomorrow doesn't exist. Only signal, only alignment, only collapse. Stop waiting. Your dream life is not across the horizon. It's in the room with you, leaking through the cracks of the field, waiting not for time, but for coherence. And once you understand this truth, the question changes. It's no longer, when will it happen? It's, how long will I keep pretending I'm not ready? Because readiness isn't a future condition. It's a present decision. And the field is responding right now. So before we go deeper, I want you to pause. Notice your body. Notice the vibration you're holding in this very second. That is the magnet. That is the signal. And that is why waiting is the ultimate sabotage. If this already feels like a wake-up call, make sure you stay with me until the end, because in this journey, I'll show you not just why waiting keeps you stuck, but the exact path to jump into. The version of life you've been postponing. And if you're ready to step into that frequency now, subscribe and share your thoughts below, because your alignment begins the moment you declare it. They visualize outcomes while secretly doubting them. They force themselves to think positive while their body is still locked in fear and scarcity. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Here's the truth. In the quantum field, forcing is friction. The more you try to overpower reality, the more you broadcast resistance. And resistance is still a frequency. The field doesn't care about your words. It mirrors your coherence. Think about it. You can say, I am abundant, 1,000 times. But if your nervous system is broadcasting survival, the field will mirror scarcity back to you with absolute precision. Not because it is punishing you, but because it is responding with mathematical accuracy. This is where the whole system collapses for most people. They confuse volume with alignment. They think the more they try, the faster they'll manifest. But quantum reality doesn't respond to effort. It responds to signal clarity. Effort is noise. Coherence is signal. And that difference is everything. So, why do so many teachers tell you to visualize harder, to repeat affirmations endlessly, to fake it until you make it? Because complexity sells. Because rituals feel safe. Because the simplicity of truth feels too easy to trust. But the field doesn't need your struggle. It doesn't need your rituals. It doesn't need your fight. It needs your coherence, your alignment, your decision to embody the frequency now. Ask yourself, how many times have you chased an outcome with intensity, only to feel it slip further away? And how many times has something come to you effortlessly when you weren't even trying? That's not luck. That's quantum precision. The moment you stop forcing, the signal clears, and the field responds instantly. So if you've been grinding, affirming, and visualizing without results, it's not because manifestation doesn't work. It's because you've been playing the wrong game. The quantum field doesn't care about effort. It only answers coherence. And that means if you've been waiting, pushing, or struggling, you've been delaying your own jump. But don't worry, because once you see how this signal truly works, you'll never fall for the illusion of effort again. You've been told manifestation happens in the mind, that if you think hard enough, if you imagine vividly enough, reality will bend to your thoughts. But thought alone is not the signal. Your body is Dr. Joe Dispenza says it clearly. Your body is your unconscious mind. It carries every memory, every emotion, every frequency you've been rehearsing for years. And here is the paradox. Most people try to think abundance while their body is still addicted to scarcity. They try to imagine freedom while their nervous system is still broadcasting survival. And the field is not fooled. It reads coherence. It reads alignment. And if your thoughts say one thing, but your body broadcasts another, the body wins every time. This is why affirmations collapse. It's why visualization feels hollow. Because while the mind is dreaming, the body is screaming a louder signal. Fear, doubt, stress, scarcity. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are rehearsing right now in your nervous system. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I'm ready for change," but deep down, your body was bracing for loss? How many times have you imagined a future of abundance while your stomach tightened at the thought of bills? That tension is the true signal, and it's the one the field mirrors back to you. So the key is not to think harder. It's to train the body to feel the future before it arrives, to reprogram your emotional baseline, to broadcast coherence, not just in words, but in heart, in breath, in vibration. Joe Dispenza calls this becoming familiar with your future self, teaching your body the feeling of already being abundant, already being free, already being whole. Because when the body believes, the field responds. This is the real art of quantum jumping. It's not about forcing your way into a new life. It's about teaching your body to become the broadcasting tower of that life until the signal is so clear, the field has no choice but to collapse it into form. And once you understand this, you realize the gap was never outside of you, was inside, not a lack of desire, not a lack of effort, but a lack of coherence. So stop trying to convince the universe with words. Convince your body with frequency. Because once your body remembers your future remembers you. You've been taught to think of your dream life as something distant, something you have to chase, something that exists out there in the future. But in the quantum field, distance is an illusion. Time is an illusion. Quantum physics has already proven it. Particles separated by light years still move in perfect synchronization. Change one and the other shifts instantly. Why? Because they are entangled, linked beyond time, connected outside of space. And here's the radical truth most people never realize. Your future self is entangled with you right now. It is not separate. It is not waiting. It is already linked, broadcasting back through the field, leaking hints, nudges, synchronicities into your present moment. So the question isn't, is my future life real? The question is, why haven't I tuned into it yet? Think about it like a radio. Every frequency is already in the air. Abundance, scarcity, health, struggle, love, loneliness. All of it exists right now, vibrating simultaneously. But you can't hear every station at once. You hear the one you tune into. Your dial is your coherence, your focus, your state of being. So when you're vibrating at fear, you're tuned to the station of loss. When you're vibrating at lack, you're tuned to the station of scarcity. And when you shift into coherence, you finally tune into the frequency where your future self is already living. This is why waiting makes no sense. You're not waiting for your future. It's waiting for you to match it. Asterisk. It's not across the horizon. It's here, entangled right now. Imagine your future self standing in the same room with you, not as a fantasy, but as a frequency. Breathing, the air you breathe, sending out a signal, waiting for you to notice. Every intuitive hit, every coincidence, every synchronicity, it's the future bleeding through the cracks, trying to get your attention. But here's the catch. Field won't drag you forward. It won't force alignment. It mirrors you. It doesn't move you. The jump is yours to choose. And once you realize you are entangled with your desired future, the game changes forever. Because you stop chasing, you stop waiting, and you start tuning. Not someday. Now got. So if the connection is already alive, the question becomes, will you finally stop pretending you're separate and step into the frequency that has been waiting for you all along? Here's where most people get confused. They hear words like quantum entanglement and quantum jumping and treat them as if they mean the same thing. But they don't. And this difference is exactly where power is unlocked. Entanglement is connection. It means your future already exists. It means it's already linked to you, broadcasting in the field right now. But entanglement alone doesn't change your life. Because being connected doesn't mean you're tuned in. Quantum jumping is different. Jumping is the act of collapsing into the entangled version of reality. It's the decision to stop observing from lack and start embodying the frequency of the future self that is already real. Entanglement is potential. Jumping is collapse. Entanglement says, it's already linked. Jumping says, I'm living it now. Most people stay stuck. In entanglement, they feel flashes of possibility. They sense synchronicities. They even glimpse who they could be. But they never jump. They never collapse the wave. They never step into coherence long enough for the field to crystallize that reality into form. And this is where effort becomes the great distraction. Because instead of embodying the signal, they try to manipulate the field. They chase, they push, they wait. And the jump never comes. Quantum jumping doesn't require years of effort. It doesn't require rituals. It doesn't require waiting. It requires alignment so clear that the field has no choice but to respond instantly. This is why some people seem to shift overnight. Why opportunities, people, and breakthroughs appear out of nowhere. It looks like magic, but it's not. It's physics. They stopped lingering in potential and made the jump dot. So let me ask you, are you just flirting with your future? Noticing the synchronicities? Collecting signs? Or are you ready to collapse into it? Because entanglement is passive. Jumping is active. And the field is waiting for you to choose. The mistake most people make is thinking entanglement is enough. But if you only stay entangled, your future stays a ghost. It hovers. It teases. It never becomes flesh. Jumping is embodiment. It's coherence. It's the collapse of probability into presence. And it is the single shift that separates dreamers from creators. So now you know the difference. The next step is inevitable. It's not about recognizing your entanglement. It's about activating your jump. And once you see how to do that, you'll never fall back into waiting again. Here's the paradox no one talks about. The harder you try to quantum jump, the more you block it. Because trying is tension, and tension is noise. Think about a time when something powerful happened effortlessly. Maybe you met the right person by accident. Maybe the opportunity appeared when you weren't even looking. Maybe the idea came to you in the shower, not at the desk. Why? Because in those moments, you weren't forcing. You weren't gripping. You weren't broadcasting desperation. You were open. You were clear. You were available. The field doesn't need your effort. It doesn't need your fight. It needs your coherence. And coherence comes the moment you stop clutching and start embodying. This is why surrender is the most radical act in quantum jumping. Because the moment you let go, the signal sharpens. and the field responds instantly, but most people resist. This truth. They think surrender means giving up. They think not chasing means not caring. But surrender isn't apathy. It's alignment. It's the refusal to broadcast lack through force. It's choosing clarity over noise. So if you've been gripping your dream life so tightly it feels like it's suffocating, maybe that's the problem. Because the jump isn't triggered by tension. It's triggered by coherence. And coherence only lives where control ends. So what does it actually take to jump? Not tomorrow, not next year. Now the code is simple. It always has been. First, identity. You cannot quantum jump into a life your current identity refuses to allow. The field doesn't respond to who you hope to be. It responds to who you are. So the shift begins when you choose a new identity, not someday, but now. Second, embodiment. Your body must become the broadcasting tower of your future. Your nervous system must rehearse abundance before abundance arrives. Your breath, your posture, your frequency must align with the version of you who has already jumped. Third, coherence. Your thoughts, emotions, and body must stop arguing. When the mind says one thing, the heart feels another, and the body broadcasts a third. The field hears noise. But when they align, the field collapses instantly. And last, surrender. Because once you're coherent, you don't chase the field. You let the field chase you. And it always does. This is the code. Identity, embodiment, coherence, surrender. The 4 signals of quantum jumping. And when you activate them, the field doesn't hesitate. It responds with precision. So ask yourself, which signal have you been broadcasting? Noise or coherence? Because your life right now is proof of your answer. Here's the truth most people don't want to face. Waiting is the slowest death. Because the field doesn't delay, you do. And every day you wait, you rehearse the identity of someone who isn't ready. And the field mirrors that rehearsal back, over and over. But you're not here by accident. If you've listened this far, it's because the entangled version of you, the one who already jumped, is pulling you forward. This is your invitation, not to wish, not to hope, to choose. Stop waiting, stop rehearsing delay, stop confusing effort with alignment. Your dream life is not across the horizon. It's entangled with you, right now, waiting for your signal of coherence. So step into it. Feel it, breathe it, broadcast it. Because the field doesn't wait, and neither should you. If this message resonates, if you feel the pull of that entangled version of you, don't keep it silent. Declare it. Subscribe, share your signal in the comments, and let's expand this field together. Because the more of us who jump, the stronger the frequency becomes for everyone. Your future is not waiting. It's here. It's now. And the only question left is, will you finally stop pretending you're separate and jump?